Even though Pokemon Legends ZA is literally right around the corner, we have had a lot of Generation 10 leaks. We had the huge Terra leak last year that revealed a ton of things about Generation 10, which is kind of crazy because I'm sure we're going to get that announcement for Generation 10 in Pokemon Day 2026, which is only a couple of months away. So let's get a quick breakdown of pretty much every single big Pokemon Generation 10 leak that we know of right now, and let me know, what is your wish list for Generation 10? Like, what is something you want to see return or something brand new? Let me know down in the comments below. I don't think I ever have seen this, the Project Gaia leaks recap, so there's a lot of things in here that I quickly scrolled through that I did not see before, which is awesome. And now, you know, we're pretty close to ZA. We're a month away, just about, a little bit longer than a month away, which is crazy. Like, dude, I remember when this game was a whole year away, and I thought that was forever. Or I thought it would be forever, but no, it's right around the corner. So Generation 10 is kind of right around the corner in a way too. So yeah, we have a bunch of like leaks and stuff. Initial leak background. So in late 2024, the leaker Game Freakout, I forgot about that username. That's kind of a crazy throwback. Shared a screenshot from Nintendo's internal development platform revealing 2 test builds from September 15th, 2023, which makes sense because guys, games take years and years to make, right? Look, we have Gaia K and Gaia N. So Gaia is like the code name for Generation 10. At the same time, N and K are just like the game. You know how Scarlet and Violet, we have Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. So it's just like the 2 different names. Now that doesn't mean that the game is going to start with a K and start with an N. That could also be just a code name. That could just be for anything. But yeah, this is like a real thing, guys. Like, that's crazy that they have been, you know, it's been this long. That was 2 years ago, guys. That is literally 2 years ago. And I just want to know where they are in development of the game now. I bet they are so far into development of Legends ZA. I mean, not Legends ZA, Generation 10. They're probably so far into development of Generation 10. I can't wait to see how this game truly looks and feels. It's going to be just insane. But anyways, based on the hints related to the Japanese words for Wind and Wave, which is Kaze and Nami, the most speculated and unconfirmed names for the games are Pokemon Wind and Wave, which that is the biggest fan name right now. I'm going to tell you guys right here, I don't think it's going to be called Wind and Wave. Even if it were to be called Wind and Wave, originally, I think they would change the name because everyone has been calling it Wind and Wave for, a year now? But that would be cool. So they're just kind of going off like what it could be because K and N, you know, Kaze, Nami, Wind and Wave. It would make sense because it's going to be based in Greece. So Wind and Wave would be a crazy awesome name. I personally would still love it. What would you guys want the game to be called? It could be called, I mean, anything really. It could even be a color. Like, they could call it like Pokemon Teal and, I don't know, Magenta or so, I don't know. That's like Scarlet and Violet almost. I don't know. In recent leaks provided by the user Moot, I haven't heard that name in a while either, stem from a recent post Nintendo Direct meeting regarding the Switch 2 involving Game Freak, Pokemon Company, TV Tokyo, merchandise teams, animation studio. These details are preliminary and subject to change. Wow, that's crazy. Bro, that is interesting to hear because Pokemon, like, merchandise teams, the animation studio and everything like that, bro, they all have to be included to know what's going to happen with Generation 10 because they got to make all the plush, the t-shirts, the coffee mugs and stuff. Pokemon Lightning and Seas, that would be cool too. A leaked hint from the well-known leaker Ball Guy suggested Generation 10 region is inspired by the game, I almost said that by the Game Freak Islands. I read that as Game Freak Islands, by the Greek islands in the Aegean Sea. The provided image from Apple Maps shows a section of these islands rotated 90 degrees westward, similar to the inverted UK map for the Galar region. So we know that this game is going to be a archipelago, which is a group of a bunch of islands, and Central Leaks has been saying it's going to be in the Cyclades, which would be awesome. I have made theory videos about what I think could happen with all those different islands. Like, dude, I think it's going to be so sick to have another water-based region. Dude, I like the water regions, like Hoenn, Alola. I know we got the IGN, you know, the meme, too much water, but I think it's going to be awesome. I'm hyped for that. Past Terra Leak. Whoa, why did I say that so weird? Terra Leak transcripts already mentioned that the island theme region concept summarized as follows: multiple islands with distinct environments, which distinct environments is probably like, think of the Blueberry Academy where we have those 4 different sections. So like one island could be like a snowy area, one island could be summer, one island could be like a desert. That would be really, really interesting. And one of my theories too is like one island could be Mega Evolution, the other one could be Dynamax, the other one could be terrestrialization, like you could only use those evolution gimmicks on those specific islands. That could be something they do too, to just be like, a little song, little love letter to all the Pokemon generations that we've had and all the evolution gimmicks. I think that would be sick. Progression achieved by exploring islands. So I think that means like you aren't able to go to every single island right away. I think that means you have to like go island by island or something like that. Unique Pokemon adapted to each island, which totally makes sense. Like specific new Pokemon that can only spawn on that specific island. That 100% makes sense. Legendary Pokemon significantly shaping each island's environment currently. The region name remains unknown. Yeah, we don't know what the region's going to be called yet. I don't think we've had like any leaks on that, but if I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't think we have had any single leak about what specifically the game is going to, or I mean what the region is going to be called. I wish we did, because that'd be cool. But let's see. Yeah, legendary Pokemon significantly shaping each island. I wonder what that means. That sounds cool. It sounds like the legendary Pokemon maybe in the story or like the lore is why every island looks like that. Like maybe it used to be like one big area, then they split everything into different islands. That could be kind of cool. I don't know. If you want to pause and read everything, I'm just going to read like the highlighted stuff. So it says the fact that it's an island is what most overlaps with their upcoming new project. We're thinking of making an island themed game after Titan, which I believe Titan is Scarlet and Violet. I'm pretty sure that's the Scarlet and Violet codename. If it's just an island, we've depicted that before in Pokemon Sun and Moon, so it's not much of a concern. But if the right Rakua is one of several islands, it might overlap considerably with what Game Freak is thinking, stopping at other islands along the way to get there. Oh yeah, and then they said we were imagining a solitary island, a floating island, which we have had the floating island leaks. Like that's crazy. So there could be floating islands in this game as well. Like not only like islands in the water, we could also have floating islands, which I think would be super cool. If each island has its own environment and Pokemon adapted to live there, or if the power of the Pokemon living on the island affects its island's environments, it might overlap with our ideas, which that sounds really cool. I don't really know what they mean overlap with our ideas though. If it's based on Coda Games power creating the islands, it might overlap with the ideas we're considering. They keep saying overlap, so I'm wondering what really they mean by overlap. Like could it be something with like the DLC of Scarlet and Violet because we were surrounded by water? But whoa, it says originally Coda Game was in Atlantis in the Titan region. What? So were we supposed to get an Atlantis in that game? Bro, that would be wild if we had an actual Atlantis, like an underwater city in Generation 10. Oh my gosh, because dude, one of my biggest wishlist items for a future Pokemon game is to have the ability to dive, like the move dive, but like actually go underwater and have huge underwater areas. And I would absolutely love that. And especially if this is another water-based region, that's 100%, not 100% needs to happen, like seriously. And this says the island has value because of the Pokemon's power, or that special seems to overlap at first glance. Dude, they say if wow, I just started like crazy, bro. What the heck? They keep saying the word overlap. Other than being an island and sinking into the sea. Yo, what the heck? It would be okay if it was an underwater temple from the beginning rather than an island. Underwater would be fine. If it's like Atlantis or the Ryugu Castle, it probably won't overlap. Once again, that word overlap. If there's a special Pokemon ecosystem, there was no word that said Pokemon. I don't know where I read that. If there's a special ecosystem underwater, that should be okay. Dude, that I have never seen that before. That's a first for me. Reading about an underwater area for Generation 10. Guys, do you want to see something underwater? Oh yeah, true, Zigzag. I forgot. Blueberry Academy is underwater. Yeah, you're right. It is. It is in that big dome and it's underwater. I forgot about that totally. So maybe that's what they keep meaning by overlap about like an underwater temple. But yeah, if they had a whole underwater area, I don't think anyone's going to be upset about that. I think people would actually love that. Okay, so this apparently down here is false, like all this type of stuff right here. However, there are still a few things that I do want to point out because we have been hearing a bunch of other leakers talk about Majin, which is not actually what it's going to be called, but like people think that this is going to be some sort of like new evolution gimmick because we don't really entirely know what the evolution gimmick is still going to be. We've had like more so rumors over leaks for the Generation 10 evolution gimmick as far as that type of stuff goes. So I guess if you want to read all this, I'll scroll a little bit slow right now so you guys can like pause and read it if you want. But yeah, I'm gonna skip all this because apparently it's kind of been debunked or maybe not 100% true. But I've heard a lot of people say about the apotheosis and stuff like that. It could be the new gimmick. So we are gonna get a new gimmick. Like we're totally gonna be getting a new gimmick in this game, like without a doubt. But we don't really entirely know exactly what that new evolution gimmick is going to be as of right now. However, it's safe to say we are 100% going to get one. So yeah, what could Gaia be? Island theme, multiple islands, progression, each island has a distinct environment. So we kind of already went over that. Gaia is not just an island, it's an underwater theme. All of this, of course, adds to the various hints from Ku, who mentioned too much water, which a lot of people don't like Riddler Ku, but dude, the man has had so many legit leaks, even after the point where he did get some wrong. Like, he did get a lot wrong, but shoot, I mean, can you expect anything else from, leaks? Leaks change all the time. So I still think Riddler Ku is a pretty reliable person overall, but obviously any leak you guys see, it's like, don't take it as 100% fact, except for the Mega Evolution stuff for ZA, because that stuff has all been becoming true. Okay, this is just a theory that could work, and Ku seems to like it. These names are also tied with the island-themed game that Game Freak is working on. What was that island-themed game? I don't remember that. There were a couple of other games that, Game Freak has in development, I guess, from the Terra League, but I guess, shoot. He says, love that theory, although Ball Guy is saying that this theory is completely wrong. Wow, that was really recent. I did see that tweet. That was literally yesterday as the time I'm recording this. Wow, so this guy is updating this website quick. But yeah, he said version K and N don't mean anything but the engine version, which totally makes sense because, like I said earlier, I don't think that the K and N, the games are not going to start with K and N. But anyways, here are the code names. As you can see, Project Gaia is K and N. Project Ikaku is ZA. We have Sudachi, which is a DLC for Scarlet and Violet, and then Titan A and B. So as you can see, Titan A and B, it has nothing to do with Scarlet and Violet, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, here are all the other, code names for all the Pokemon games, which is really cool to see. And even like some of the spin-off games too, like Synapse, Rodeo, Swallow, Kenya. It's really cool to see all this stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. That was a clip from my live streams. Make sure to turn those post notifications so you don't miss my lives. I've tried to do like weekly live streams. Sometimes I do a couple a week, just kind of, depending on like how much time I have and stuff like that. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are real and watching this far in the video, comment down below bread, just to confuse those people that aren't watching this far in the video. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.